Welcome back to Downstairs and Dragons, where we play D&D in our basement. We are filming a prologue episode today for our new campaign, Lost in Finders. This is where I take players through Tales of the Yawning Portal and through Ghosts of Saltmarsh. We're going to be doing old quests that have been done in previous editions, but have been remade for 5th edition. Now my heroes have already gone through the classic Sunless Citadel story. So we're going to tell you all about that so you can see our adventures coming up. I'm going to bring up our first player character now.
Hi, I'm Dieter, and I will be playing Kieran Argyle Flanagan. He's a 327-year-old Eladrin elf who's a druid of the Circle of the Golden Hive. His signature weapon is his quarterstaff, but he prefers to use his bees!
Hi, I'm Adler, and I will be playing Phlebotomus Grumblekin, a 119-year-old gnomish artificer. He uses a crossbow and a heck of a lot of potions, and he has the biggest fucking hat you've ever seen in your life. I swear to God, it goes down to his ankles.
Hello everyone, I'm Josh. I'll be playing Ixildor Morthorn, the 73-year-old half-elf paladin of Rilliphane Ralathil. He enjoys smiting his foes using his halberd, and is sort of the one person in this party that can keep everyone somewhat in line.
He tries.
Hi, I am Nathan. I will be playing Quella. She is a 102-year-old wood elf. She has a pet swan named Quest. I have a longbow, which I love shooting anything and everything in the eyes. I am definitely a bit sassy, but I also know to get the job done when it's put in front of me. And I love big arms. Whether it's a troll or a human, I love big arms.
Thank you everyone for introducing your characters. We've had a lot of fun so far, and we're going to tell everyone about it. So, let's start with the wasteland we see pictured here. You were all traveling for different reasons, and you're not all sure yet why everyone was brought together, but you all happen to be in the same tavern at the same place, just like most D&D campaigns start out. You were approached in a tavern called the Hour's Glass. And in the Hour's Glass, do you remember who approached you and what she said?
It was the merchant lady.
Her name was Carolyn?
Yes, Karen Hercriel.
She said her kids went missing. A paladin came through and recruited them for a holy quest. Sweet talked him into joining him to go into the ruins nearby.
And they haven't come back in a month. Was that right?
Yes.
So they didn't come back in a month. Who else did they bring with them?
The Sir Bradford.
Yep, so Sir Bradford,
That was the paladin.
Sharon
yes.
Hercriel was the wizard.
And then Talgin was the fighter.
Yep, Talgan Hercriel.
Yep.
And then we had a fourth. It was
The Ranger.
the Ranger, Caracas.
Oh, yeah.
So
Caracas.
the four of them went down into the Sunless Citadel, and you're being paid to bring back the siblings, the Hercriel siblings. But there were some other rumors you found out before you went down there. You guys were walking around the town of Oakhurst, and you learned some things that were of interest in the Sunless Citadel. Do you remember what those were?
The apples.
Yes.
The apples.
What about the apples?
Goblins will come out with a single apple that can cure what ails you.
When do they do this?
That's midsummer is when they do it.
Once a year.
Yeah, every summer solstice they come out and sell an apple that cures what ails you perfectly. What was the other thing you were warned not to do around town? Sleep out in the wilds? Do you remember why?
Yes, there were things, critters, attacking people and sucking them dry of all their juices.
Yes, exactly. So you guys have 3 points of interest now. You need to go down and find the missing people, find out the source of the apples, and find the cause of the deaths out in the wilds. So you guys headed down into this ruin, and I'm wondering, I kind of want to ask you guys, what drove your characters to go do this nice thing? Was it the money? Was it what drove you to join up with strangers and head down there?
Well, I thought it was really irresponsible for someone to just grab a couple kids and go questing in some ruins where goblins are. So I wanted to go smack Sir Bradford around.
And that was your reason? I think one of you also hated Sir Bradford.
Oh, I can't. I knew I didn't like him from the start. Why would he offer to take children down there? No, not right. Mm-mm.
We should bring up the point that you're all elves. And so when you hear that these people were in their 20s, or you're no, when you hear that someone was in their 20s, to you it sounds irresponsible to take them down into a dungeon when in reality they're humans.
Well, still.
And we're adults.
It's like a little baby.
But yeah, that's how you guys felt about it.
Also, maybe the ruins go down under the earth and I could have found some golden honeybees for me to bond with.
Because that's what you were looking for, correct?
Ultimately, I suppose on a professional level, that's what I was looking for. Maybe I could find old recipes of pastries and cakes and sweets. Oh,
Well, for me...
I'm salivating just thinking about it.
But you were pretty honest and upfront about your backstory right away. Now, the rest of you are still hiding some things about your backstory, but were there any obvious reasons why you decided to team up with the others?
I thought it would be fun.
You guys also...
I mean, they needed help,
Oh, that's
so I
nice.
just joined.
So you're just a bunch of nice people who happen to get together.
Well, sometimes.
Sometimes.
More or less.
You guys also met another NPC. So originally you talked to Karen Hercriel, who gave you the quest, but you also spoke to who else?
Corky?
Corky. She was a cleric of Paylor in the town of Oakhurst, and she helped you in what ways before you went down there?
Give us a little bit of information.
What did you know about the Sunless Citadel before you went down?
You mean what we learned from Corky?
Yeah.
That it used to be the house of a vampire and a dragon and a cult.
She just casually slipped that out.
Yeah.
There used
Yeah.
to be things there, no big deal.
Yeah, no big deal.
And you guys decided to go down there as level 1.
Yep.
All in.
Because we're smart.
What could go wrong?
It's a fun little, a little jump.
But, let's not forget who saved everyone.
Me.
Yeah.
Didn't you fall unconscious?
So did you.
Not me!
I fell unconscious saving your ass.
I believe you fell unconscious first.
You both fell unconscious
Yeah,
at once.
saving your ass.
Details, whatever.
So you guys, you started making your way down into, well, there was sunlight on the first level of the Sunless Citadel. It was very crumbled. There are a lot of dark and dank places and a lot of things scurrying about. When you first made it down there, you encountered things like skeletons and traps and rubble.
Gross.
Some methods.
What was a creature you encountered early on?
Rats.
Kobold!
Kobolds. Now, was there a very specific kobold that you met?
Meepo!
Meepo.
Meepo.
I didn't like him at first.
I loved that guy.
I grew to like him.
Look at
Look how
him.
cute he is!
Can you guys tell me what you remember about Meepo and your first introduction?
Oh, we saw him crying about losing a dragon.
Yeah.
Baby white dragon.
Oh, a Chardalon, right? No, that's the temple.
No.
Right?
No, that's
Yeah, the temple, you guys did find out that this was a temple to a Chardalon a long time ago. But a more recent dragon that's living in the Citadel was Kelcrix, the baby white dragon. And you guys had mixed feelings about what you should do for Meepo on this subject?
I thought we should have fed him.
Do you remember what Meepo did to kind of, I guess, force your hand into helping him?
He took us to the kobold leader, didn't he?
Yes.
High priestess.
Yes, he
So you
wanted us
used
to
to
help
know.
get rid of all of the goblins.
Yep. So now you guys have new objectives. He wanted you to get Kelcrix back for him and take care of the goblins that are also fighting the kobolds here in the Sunless Citadel. Now you spoke to Usadrill, and you had quite a lengthy discussion. You guys wanted something from the kobolds, she wanted something from you. Can you tell me more about the agreements you guys made?
We would clear out the goblins if they would show us where all of their nasty little traps were.
Do you remember what else after you got Kelcrix?
That they would leave with the dragon.
So at that time, you guys had decided you weren't going to kill Calcrix, is that correct?
Right.
Yes.
Okay. So you guys decided to go with Meepo through the dungeon, and also were ultimately able to skip half of the dungeon's enemies by not fighting the kobolds. So you befriended them, with Meepo as your escort. Before you could get deep into the goblin territory of the Sunless Citadel, you found their prison. And what did you find in that prison?
We found another little gnome.
Oh, Erky.
Yeah. So, Erky in the books is male, but is female because I wanted to.
Girl power.
It's easier on my voice. So Erky is an acolyte of Garl Glittergold, a common gnome god, and she was trapped in a tiny cage for over a month, maybe a month and a half, 2 months, somehow kept alive through torture, along with some other kobold prisoners.
Poor Erky.
So she was able to give you some information. Now let's go back to your quest. You had a quest looking for the apples and a quest learning what was attacking people. She gave you answers to both of those. Do you remember what information she gave you?
That the goblins would collect an apple from a tree that would produce a single apple every midsummer.
Correct.
And that the things attacking the townsfolk were twig blights,
Yep.
which we did find a few of them.
Yes, you did.
Didn't
early
really
on.
know what they were, but she did, so...
So let's talk about the twig blights. When you guys first encountered them outside the Sunless Citadel and discussed them with Erky, you found that they all had kind of a kobold look to them. They're these bushes with needle fingers all over that they can use to stab people, but they ultimately had like a kobold-shaped head and kobold-shaped shoulder and bodies.
Creeps.
So, you know about the blights now, so you can be prepared, and you know about the apple coming from the tree in the basement. Now let's talk about your main objective of finding the heroes. Before you found Erky, you found one of...
Well, we found the remains of the ranger.
Yes. So now you know Caracus the ranger is dead.
We took his armor.
Yes,
We
but
sure
you
did.
also put his body in a nicer spot. I remember you buried him just slightly away from a rat den that was eating him.
We put his corpse off to the side so we could retrieve it for a proper
that was so
funeral
gross.
later.
Right.
Did we end up retrieving it?
I don't think we did.
No, we did.
Oh, we did?
I
Okay, good.
remember that, yeah. Quella, you actually took the ranger's armor and
I
being a ranger
did.
yourself. Can you tell me what that armor is made
Yes.
from?
It is the studded leather armor, Bargist. Wait.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's made from the skin of a Bargus.
Yes.
And you guys may have seen it in Quella's picture at the beginning, but it has its own abilities that we can get into later.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I've got it written down your card.
Oh, it's been a while.
That's okay. Okay, so you're still looking for three of the
Wow.
heroes. Three of the heroes, Sir Bradford, Talgan, and Sherwin, that are missing. Erky gave you a hint. Do you remember what that was? Those three were kept in the prison with Erky for some time, but then were called down into the basement for a man named Bellic.
Oh, I remember him.
And at this point, you don't know much about Bellic. All you know is he wanted those people, and he's the one who provides the apples to the goblins. So at this point, you guys, how did you feel about the goblins? Did you want to ally with them?
At this point, we'd already taken the agreement to get rid of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And goblins are goblins, so fuck them.
I remember some pretty gruesome fights. Do you remember some of the kills that you did to some of the goblins?
Going through the ruins of the castle, I remember I was up against the wall, fighting a goblin who was also up against the same wall. And as the killing blow, I smacked his head into the wall, which bounced off of the wall, and then bounced off my club. Just bounced between them. And then I crushed his fucking head in.
Didn't you behead someone at one point too and bounce that head around a room?
No, that was Ixtaldor.
Yeah.
I've beheaded a lot of people.
I shot like
Goblins aren't people.
I shot like 2 goblins right in the eyeball.
Oh, you did that a few times too?
Yes, I did. It's my favorite spot. That and the taint.
Before you guys could get really deep in your goblin slaying ways, you actually found something you were looking for.
The white dragon.
No,
Oh, boy.
the bees.
Oh,
The white dragon.
you.
I found the bees before I found the dragon, right?
You were looking for the
I don't
bees.
think
We
so.
were not.
You did start finding some trickling of bees. You didn't find the hive or the queen, but you just started finding some stray bees that were attracted to you. And
Big, fat, golden, shiny honeybees.
very special. and they immediately were attracted to you because of your magic.
Because of my awesomeness.
So then you found Calcrix the white dragon. Now she was a baby, but still.
That's a baby?
Yeah.
Yes.
And she was pissed. Is the right word? I
Yeah.
think?
No,
Yes, yeah.
Can you tell
Very
me about
accurate.
your encounter with her?
I made the mistake of trying to go up to her and calm her down. I rolled pretty low. I don't know if it was a natural 1, but it was close.
It was really close.
And she just unleashed her fucking frost breath at me and right smack dab in my face.
Right.
It hit you and Ixildor, I believe.
It sure did.
Yeah.
He was in the doorway.
I think one of someone had to
had-
grab you. We hustled
You
out
did.
of the room.
You
Yeah.
grabbed his
Yeah,
hand.
you grabbed him.
Ixildor, what was your reaction to this?
Slay the dragon.
Yes. So you, a level 1 character, started trying to slay a baby dragon.
Yeah, I got a good hit in.
Yes, you did. You sliced her throat open. with it.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
But Meepo did not want you to kill her, begged you not to kill her, and Quella, you stepped in. What did you do?
I went and talked to her and I calmed her down.
Yes, you did.
And I got a very high roll.
Yes, and that it comes from just your experience as a ranger
Yes,
and dealing with
ma'am.
creatures. You were actually able to calm her down. You were able to get her healed, and Meepo decided to stay with her and just keep her out of harm's way and out of your way for a while. So you guys did actually finish one of your quests here. You retrieved Calcrix and ended up holding up one end of the bargain with the kobolds. But you have one piece left. You have to go kill more goblins and get them out
The
of here.
leaders.
Yeah, so do you remember what the leaders were? They were
Hobgoblin.
hobgoblins.
Yeah.
Actually, that whole encounter, there wasn't much talking or arguing. There was just straight up, we're gonna kill you.
Oh,
We
I will
were,
not forget that final blow that
We were
Kieran did.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
that's
ice
right.
knife.
Yeah.
You guys killed that guy before he could even stand up out of his throne. And
Yeah.
just, there was an ice knife to his chest.
An arrow to his eye,
Yeah.
throat.
And then you guys fought the other hobgoblins. But
We got the jump on them because we had gotten pretty deep into the goblin controlled areas, and we played it smart and just rushed in, breached the door, and took him down. Of course, he had some other friends.
now, do you remember when all the other hobgoblins were killed? There was someone who spoke up to you.
Yeah, there was
Oh.
a goblin
Her name was like-
wizard.
Little
Red.
goblin witch.
Gretel.
Gretel.
That was a
Grenell was the goblin shaman. She cared about her tribe very much and wanted to take care of it, and didn't care for her hobgoblin masters. So when you killed them, she made a deal with you. She laughed in your face and said she could bring you down into the grove to meet Bellic and ask where the 3 missing people were. And what did you say in exchange she had to do?
I said, yeah, take us down there and we won't take out your little goblin town with your young and your elderly.
And she again laughed in your face, but escorted you down to see Bellic. And this is how my party circumvented an entire second floor of a dungeon. You guys went straight through, walking past enemies, walking past rooms, and finding your target, going against a boss a whole level short. And
Because we're great.
we're gonna talk about how that went for you.
We were a level behind at that point?
Yeah.
Nice.
Because you guys skipped a whole... You guys found Bellic, the druid, and with him were bark-skinned Sherwin, Hercriel, and Sir Bradford.
Also bark-skinned.
Also bark-skinned.
Sir Bradford.
And behind him was a great big black-barked tree with knotty and gnarled branches almost curling everywhere.
It looked like a dragon.
And you're underground in this forgotten grove of glowing purple fungus everywhere and black thorns and brambles growing and what you believe to be shrubs that were actually twig blights hiding in the brush. So can you tell me about the discussion you had with Bellic?
We had the discussion with him. We didn't like him. We called him names. I think he said, oh, the tree isn't evil, it's just being a tree.
Yeah, he said it's natural, and if it wasn't natural, it wouldn't exist. All things that exist are natural. And you
And
got...
I said it was an invasive species and a mutation of what is natural. And then we fought.
True.
Yeah, you guys didn't even give him a chance to put on mage armor or something. It was 1, 2, 3, 4. His head was cut off.
And on the tip of my halberd.
You guys gave me no chance. Your initiatives are all higher than his. You got him down in one round.
Spun around behind him and gave you the flanking advantage, and you two stuck him with a bunch of little pointy sticks.
And then I stuck him with a really pointy stick.
Yes, you did. But then we had the other two to contend with.
Yes.
Oh,
but
yeah.
did you notice that as soon as he was dead, they stopped moving?
Yep.
I remember him saying to you a couple things about the tree. He told you the source of the tree and what he had done with it. Do you remember both of those?
Is that when we learned the origin of the tree?
A little bit. Do you want to go ahead and share?
We found out that he was like feeding them to the tree.
Right, so the tree, that was a Golthias tree. Possibly the original, sitting on top of the imprisoned corpse of the vampire Golthias. Which is really bad news.
Because the vampire is definitely outside of your range.
So it's a dragon.
So you learned, and then yes, you learned he was feeding people to the tree, but he didn't actually tell you that. That
You
comes
almost got
later.
sucked into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you wanted to touch it.
I went and I wanted to poke it, so I poked it and it almost sucked me into it.
So the more you
Like
guys,
some jelly.
the more you guys sat around the tree, the more you realized the tree was singing, and it was very slowly reforming itself into the shape of a great big red dragon head. And through the throat that it had formed, it was singing a melody that was very enticing and sinking into your heads.
So we left.
Yes,
Right.
you left. You left Sherwin and Sir Bradford because there was really nothing you could do at that point. So we're going to talk about how you took care of this quest before we talk about what you guys did in Oakhurst. You guys spent some time down in the Forgotten Grove reading Bellic's notes, reading his research, reading what was going on down here. So yes, if you could please now share what you found about him feeding people to the trees, any of the other research he was doing down there.
He was trying to make little minions by pushing them into the tree, which would start this transformation process. But it didn't work on little things. They had to be big enough and strong enough to be claimed. He had some ability to control the tree, and through the tree he could control the little minions.
Where did the twig blights come from?
The tree?
Do you remember it was on the seeds of the apples?
The seeds of the apples, you're right.
And do you remember that in order to get what he wanted, to control the tree, he was studying every aspect of it and also studying how to breed it. Do you remember how he created multiple?
Wasn't it just by clippings?
Yeah.
So, okay, so you guys learned that the tree gives off a red apple in the summer solstice. You also learned it gives off a white apple
Oh, right.
in the winter solstice. And the white apple does the opposite of the red. It depletes your life force. It kills you. He found a way to preserve the magic and the essence of the apples so that they could both be fused together and planted together. When you plant both the life and the death apple together, it creates a whole new Golthias sapling and explains the spread of Golthias saplings across Faerun. And you also learned that he had been sending off these trees to be planted, and there are now multiple Golthias saplings around your region, near your homes. And that is going to lead us down a whole nother path we'll talk about shortly.
He was sending Talgin off with these little seeds.
Right, so Talgin was missing. Well, he was sending twig blights, but then after a sapling was grown, he sent Talgin to that sapling to see if Talgin could survive with a connection to that sapling instead. So, we're going to summarize all you things you learned about the Golthias tree. It's from Stake in a Vampire's Heart. It gives off apples that both cure and kill. When you plant those apples together, it makes a Golthias sapling. There are 3 Golthias saplings around the area, and you know where they are. With that knowledge, you guys needed to find a way to cure Sherwin and Sir Bradford. Or you could kill them. Or you could kill the tree and they would die. So you spent some time doing some research, talking to some people in town, and what did you come to a conclusion of?
Well, we found that upon a secondary visit to the tree, there were flowers blooming, specific flowers that feed off of glamour and charm magic,
They literally eat charm magic.
which is what was being sung from the tree. So they just occurred naturally there. We learned that we could make a potion using these flowers and one of the apples after studying Bellic's notes.
Well, you guys ended up learning that making a potion would destroy the magic, so you decided that any corruption or manipulation of the apple would destroy the magic. So you decided not to make a potion, because that wouldn't work.
Oh.
No, we just kept the petals in one of the vials.
Yeah.
Right, yep, and then you found a vial that Bellic had made, a jar that he had made that literally preserves magic, and you guys still have that vial today. So you put the apple in, and you put the flowers in until you need them. And you actually still have a piece now. But then you guys had to go feed this kebab of apple petals to Carwyn and Sir Bradford. Do you remember how that went?
That was not well.
I tried to shove one of the kebabs down Carwyn's throat, and she thought I was attacking her, so a battle ensued. We had to subdue her and Sir Bradford and force them to eat the food.
Did she think you were attacking her, or did the tree think you were taking away its pets?
We assumed
A bit of
both.
probably.
What happened as soon as you had turned them?
The tree attacked us.
Yes,
Yeah.
this great big tree was reaching out and grabbing you with its branches, slashing you, squeezing you.
I cut one of the branches off and kept it.
Yes, so a branch had grabbed Carwyn and was squeezing the life out of her, literally mushing her insides, and you would cut the branch, and you guys took this huge, like 12-foot branch.
Or was that you that cut it?
I'm pretty sure I severed it, yes.
It was
You took it.
I just
Yeah.
took it, yes.
Yeah, yeah. You're able to get both Sir Bradford and Carwyn out of there. But you had to leave the tree behind, and you had to leave whatever's under the tree.
We never
Behind.
went back.
Not before I did a bit of a ritual myself to hopefully purify that grove of whatever malicious intent is there.
That's not the only thing you left with. Someone who had been finding more and more bees as he traveled through everything finally found where the queen was hiding.
Yes.
He found a ground hive, and on top of that ground hive was what?
Oh, it was a stick.
A big quarterstaff made of 24 individual branches, all woven and braided together to make one single staff. Each branch was a different wood, different tree. And you took that with you because your bees loved it. They crawl all over it, they crawl inside of it, and they demanded you take it with, even though you wanted to leave it.
It's really flexible and a bit hollow on the inside. It's like hitting someone with a really big switch.
Yeah. Yep, so it's a +1 quarterstaff for you right now. So we've got the Barghest armor, we've got the +1 quarterstaff, and you guys also were able to excavate some old Ashardalon Dragon Priest runes and get some other items. Any other items of note that you guys got?
We got those statues, I think. Those jade statues?
The one we took from the Dragon's Hoard, yes.
Yeah.
That's true.
I got that bag of holding, didn't I?
Yes.
Yes.
And
We also got a whistle.
yeah, you guys got
The
a...
Death Caller's whistle.
Yes.
Yep. And
We
do you
also got
remember
that
the mask?
vial. There was like the poison.
Yeah, you guys got a couple potions.
Didn't someone write it down?
But what big equipment did you get that you're going to keep with you is my point.
We got that alchemy
That
jar.
statue! We put it in
Talon's
a
armor.
bag,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, you got Talgan's armor to bring back to his mom. The perioptive wound closure is
Oh,
what I
wow.
gave you.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh.
So that's all. You guys had essentially done half of the quest that you were asked to do by Carwyn Hercriel. So, you guys left the Sunless Citadel, but not before being attacked by some of the enemies you had bypassed originally. Do you remember you were camping out doing your studying?
We almost died.
And a bugbear tried to cross through where you were camping, and you didn't want to fight it. You were tired. You just let it go. So this bugbear goes to your camp, goes to their side. You guys go back to bed. In the morning, when you go to leave your camp, ambushed by 2 bugbears. waiting for you.
That
I
was
opened the door and got clobbered pretty significantly.
You went down like a sack of potatoes.
We almost
They nearly killed him.
wiped during that battle.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so you guys ended up fighting 2 bugbears, and Kieran got up and then went down again, and then got up again. And then do you remember you guys were able to barricade the doors and create an ambush? And so while you had taken one bugbear down, the second one came through the door and was immediately drawn to what?
Me.
What were you doing?
I was singing, I'll get knocked down, but I'll get up again. You're never gonna keep me down.
And because you went down twice. So it comes straight for you. And right as it steps in the perfect spot, it started a chain reaction where Ixeldor, you got
Natural 20.
natural 20 with your halberd hitting it.
Yeah.
Kieran, you got
I got a natural 20.
you got a natural 20.
We all did.
Striking it.
Does someone use a
Phlebotomist-
bear?
No, the bear was earlier in that fight. That's how I survived to get back into that room with all of you.
Oh, right.
And then Phlebotomist, you struck him in the same spot. And I can't remember which one of you guys also got a nat 20.
I did.
Phlebotomist got a natural 20. And then Quella finished it off with an arrow right in the organs that could just end this huge giant creature and have it fall to the ground. So you guys, your real boss fight, it was 2 prepared bugbears with an ambush.
But we won.
That's pretty tough.
Oh gosh, so much happened in this dungeon. There's another thing we forgot. You guys are leaving with Karen, you're leaving with Sir Bradford, you're leaving with items, you're leaving with Erky, the gnome acolyte who actually raised you a couple times when you fell.
We went back up and we kicked goblins out.
What else did you find down at the bottom?
Some weird flying cat thing.
A whole bunch of animals that were being tested on, and you found a
yeah.
tressum. Now, a tressum is a unique winged cat that is from the area that you're currently in. It felt very fitting to have it here. And you, Quella, passed it up as a familiar. You did not want the tressum, and so Erky actually has bonded with this creature that also spent who knows how long being tortured in the same fortress. So Erky now has this pet tressum that's just as intelligent as a person. It's more of a friend than a pet, but you guys rescued a lot of things. You brought a lot of things up.
We did good.
So, let's go back to Oakhurst and let's talk about the resolution of this quest. Whew. Do you guys remember how much money you were promised if you brought both siblings back?
Was it 400?
No.
I thought it was 400.
It was.
100 each of us.
It was 400 each.
Oh!
You guys only brought back one sibling. So you got 200 gold each. This is money that had been saved up by the richest people of the town and donated by some of the town, and it was saved for someone who could rescue them. So you went back to Hercrowhurst to bring the daughter back to Carowin. And this was on the day of the summer solstice, so everyone was celebrating. You got to enjoy a celebration with Corky and a lot of the other NPCs you've gotten to know.
There were a few weddings happening at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they always have weddings in Oakhurst at the summer festival. So that's why, that's just why there are a lot of weddings here. So, now you're still missing Talgan, so we'll talk about where you're going to go find him in a second. But you guys were busy in town while you were waiting for the red apple to grow, so you could use it to save the others. You were busy. So I want to talk about what you guys did. First, let's talk about what you did together. Do you remember you all went to investigate a building together in the middle of the night?
Is
the
the ranger's house.
It's more of a silo,
Ranger's house.
really.
The ranger lived in a silo, an old silo in an old farmland that wasn't farmland anymore.
The town had expanded.
Yeah, and so the town expanded around this farm, and it just had the old farmhouse and the old silo, and he lived in the silo. A big emptied out giant tower, a piece of crap.
Just this really junky silo with a bunch of overgrown grass and a bunch of animal skulls everywhere.
I thought it was quite charming.
He had a lot of cool animal skulls. What did you learn was Caracus's connection to the Sunless Citadel?
He was apparently using the white apples to take down big game, large threats.
So it's not that he was that great of a ranger, but he was a very good trap maker and trapper. So he had things like the Bargus that he took down, or what other skeleton did you find in there?
Chimera?
He took down a chimera. It was a brown chimera. It had a brown dragon, antelope, and a cougar.
Yeah.
That's what it was. And he took down some other stuff. But you guys, After reporting his death to the people who knew him, you bought his silo for super cheap because it's fucking silo. Like,
Broken ass silo.
but you guys sunk a
Eyesore.
ton of money into having it repaired, which is going on currently.
We'll be back, and it'll be nice to have a place to sleep.
You're right.
Not in a tree.
It's gonna be our cool wizard tower.
You're not the only one that sleeps in trees, Quilla.
Well, it'll be nice to not have to sleep in one anymore.
Well, maybe
Kieran.
don't sleep in trees
I'm
anymore.
not gonna sleep on the ground.
Do you see what I have to deal with?
Since you guys have a home that you're building, you went a little Dragon Quest Builders Minecraft and you started hoarding everything you could find that could be used as building equipment.
We ended up going back to the castle ruins because we found a special key that unlocked a separate area of the castle ruins, and it was untouched. It was very nice tiles.
Beautiful tiles. Beautiful.
Exquisite.
It's shiny
Oh,
tiles.
yeah.
Dusty. So you filled your bag of holding with tiles, and you brought them back. And what else did you manage to squeeze into your bag of holding?
That's
An
it.
entire stone
500
statue of a
pounds.
dragon. We chiseled it off the base, crammed it into the bag of holding. It barely fit in there.
Well, it's more of a pillar than a statue.
It's
had
like
a
a
base-
huge
gargoyle.
Wasn't that a treasure chest?
It is. It's
Yeah,
a
with a puzzle.
4-person lock. And inside of the belly, there's a safe. But it requires 4 people to unlock at one time.
And now we're gonna use this as a gargoyle on top of the silo.
Well, I think you
I
guys
thought we
put
were
it
going to
in
use
the...
it as a wash basin.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because it has a basin in front of it underneath the belly, and so you guys just have it in the bottom of your, like in the middle of the construction zone. That's where you dropped it off. It doesn't even fit through the door. You just took it out of the bag of holding and left it there. So the builders have to build around it.
Work around it, guys.
So that's the first.
Make it work.
They're talented. They're professionals.
Make it work. Make
The-
it work.
That's the first improvement to your silo, and hopefully it'll be even better by the time you.
And the tiles.
All the tiles.
Which we put in the kitchen, right?
Well, they're going to make a kitchen at some point for you, but it's
Good.
gonna take some time. It's a
Wow.
piece of shit silo.
You know what?
It's not
look
up
beautiful
to
when it's
code.
done.
Worth the money. Now you all had your own things that you worked on in Oakhurst. You had some time to investigate your own goals.
And Sage and Rosemary.
Koala.
I went and talked to Corky.
Yeah, well, you guys all visited Corky. Do you want to talk about your experiences with her?
Oh,
Just kind of explained to her what happened down at the bottom
Yeah.
in the basement.
Didn't it
the
kind of
ruins.
seem like she knew a little bit more?
Yeah, kind of
And
seemed like she already knew like the what's his name was down there and the tree was down there. I think she knows something.
one of you decided to investigate. You were suspicious.
I may or may not have stolen a book from her.
You found a hidden compartment where they kept diaries over the centuries of what had happened in Oakhurst. It was just like a record-keeping thing the church did. And you stole one, and you read it, and what did you find out?
She keeps very good records of everyone that visits her.
Yep.
Everybody.
So,
Including Bellic.
and did-
Bellic.
Didn't you also take some papers from a room that we passed down in the bottom in the goblin area?
yeah, Bellic's
Yeah,
notes.
Bellic's
Yeah,
notes.
you guys read them for research.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
But didn't you
I'm good, I
just
swear.
didn't you just come out and tell her that you robbed her?
Yeah, pretty much.
And
I
what,
felt guilty.
and you were like, why would you lie to us about this stuff? Why would you hide this stuff? And this sweet gnome who's always happy and always says nice things to you, you finally got under her fucking skin. She said, listen here, you little shit. I have my fucking reasons. So anyway.
What
Is this before or after she piled all the pews in like a big...
Oh!
Before.
No, that's
They kept walking in on her moving furniture, and then she'd stop and be like, hello, what's going on? And you guys always thought that she was hiding like a hidden compartment or something under the tiles.
No.
No, when people aren't around for a long time, she stacks all the furniture up into this weird poltergeist shit formation. And then she cries to the town guard that there's vandals coming into her church, and it makes the townspeople feel guilty. They visit her church more. It's how she gets more patrons in.
That little
She's a liar.
shit.
She's a gnome. It's normal. No, I'm just kidding.
It's alright. It's cool.
But they,
Flebo would know.
She's a clever businessman.
you guys also reported Bellic's death to the mayor. Do you remember how that went?
Oh, his
Didn't we-
head!
yes.
Well, I gave him
Just
the
at
head.
the desk.
No,
just
you
put a
threw
head
your
on his
head out
desk.
the window.
Well, that was later.
Yeah, so
That
first
was
they,
one of the many heads we took with us.
so first they put Bellic's head on the
goblin
mayor's
came
desk,
too.
which is great. And then you went back and stole it. And then you were hanging it around with it in your hotel room. And then it stunk, so they told you to get rid of it, so you whipped it out the hotel window and hit a couple of people in the alleyway, and then you just left it there. And then, like, 2 weeks later...
The kids were kicking the butt.
Yeah, apparently kids had a human skull they were playing with, and the town was like, what the fuck?
No comment.
Way to be here. Look what you did.
Well, the two people in the alley were buying drugs, so
What if they
I
were
didn't feel bad about whipping.
How do you know they weren't
doing?
doing a little quickie in the alley?
Well, they turned off.
Either way, that's indecent exposure. It's against the law. They shouldn't be doing it.
Oh my god.
They turned up to me and they asked, "Do you spice, bro?"
Mind your own business, but by the way, do spice.
Kieran, you also were causing trouble in town. You were trying to cook at any kitchen that would let you cook, and you got kicked out of every single one. But what did they
It's
question?
improving their menus.
Why did they not trust you cooking?
They said that they didn't like sweets anymore because a group of strange individuals came by and distributed some delicious delectables and made everyone weird.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds awfully familiar to me. The whole reason why I left my home in the first place.
Wait, the others don't know this yet.
I don't remember this part at all.
Oh,
You haven't told them yet. You can't tell them now.
either.
I thought I had mentioned it.
Nope.
No, you didn't.
Okay,
Well,
no.
Nobody want to know!
Never mind then.
How dare you
It's
say that?
mysteries.
So,
How dare you?
so one thing, okay, so you got a whole new quest list now. You guys have checked a lot of quests off. You have to go find Talgan. And Talgan is at one of the saplings.
Oh, yeah.
You guys read Bellic's notes about each one of the saplings. Do you remember anything?
So one of them was, it went in the direction of this mountain range.
The Cloven Mountains to the west, yes.
Yes, and in that mountain range is my hometown, the city of Cowabunga.
Of course it is.
And so the note said, hey, there's orcs here, and they might attack the town or something.
Orcs and dwarves.
Orcs and dwarves.
Right, so we'll look at the map here, and the orange dot, that is Oakhurst. The red dot is the gnome village of Cowabunga that Phlebotomus is from. The rest of you have never been there, don't know what's there, but...
In Thornwood?
Yes.
Yeah.
To the north of it in the Cloven Mountains, right at the top of that peak where the three lines meet, that is where Bellic believed the sapling to have been planted. And by divining through the tree, yes, he saw orcs and dwarves. You're exactly right. So almost exactly west of Oakhurst, a little northwest.
Oh!
You guys believe that's where Talgan is, so you're going there first because you were worried about the orcs and dwarves. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a town called Yelp.
Where?
Where are you from, Yelp?
Yep.
There's another sapling to the northeast above the yellow dot. Now the yellow dot is where, what is your name? Kieran. Is where Kieran is from. I'm sorry.
Where you're from.
That's a lot of names.
Wilds.
Well, yes, I'm from the Feywild. I stepped into this plane
And lived
lived in the Winterwood.
Right. So you know there's a sapling near that elven city, and so you will have to go deal with that sapling at some point. And then there is a sapling almost exactly east of Oakhurst in the Winterwood Dead Center. So you guys are gonna have to go to all three and take care of the saplings. But you're pretty sure Talgan is to the west, and you're killing two birds with one stone by making sure Cowabunga is safe. So that is where you are going next. I believe we have a couple more things to cover.
It's important to point out that I left the Golthias tree branch with Corky.
Yes, you did. Because they're going to study it, and they're going to keep an eye on the Citadel to make sure no more people are going down there, make sure that the tree's left alone until someone is strong enough to handle it and deal with it. Because they're not even really sure they want to kill it. They're not sure what it would do to Golthias. No one's really sure.
We don't need an ancient vampire waking up from an endless slumber.
Yeah. And a worshiper of Asharnalon. That's not a good. Both are bad, and he is both. So.
Oh, did we mention that the kobolds left and went on their way?
They are going to leave. Good point. We were just gonna bring that up. Mm-hmm. Yes, you guys had asked the kobolds to leave with the dragon because you didn't want the dragon to grow up here next to Oakhurst, and you felt that she'd leave anyway because it's not cold enough. Mm-hmm. So you recommended that they actually go west into the Cloven Mountains, where there is snow on the mountaintops. So they said that they would work on leaving soon. They would work on leaving. The sooner they leave, the better. But it's hard to leave in summer because they have sunlight sensitivity. So they said they would work on leaving soon. The goblins. What did you say to the goblins? You just screamed at them.
I told Gremmel that if I ever saw her again, I'd kill her. So we just stormed into Goblin Town and said, "Alright, you little shits! Get the fuck out of here! Get out now!"
They went to the east-ish. Through that giant hole. Basically in the ground. They're out in the wasteland somewhere to the east.
Aye.
So, kobolds are going to the west, goblins are going to the east, and you guys are going to head southwest to Cowabunga.
Cowabunga it is.
You guys are leaving the silo behind, getting the repairs it needs. We forgot something. On the top of the silo, someone did a ritual. Someone is high enough level to do this ritual now.
Me!
Will you tell us what you did?
I did a ritual to get my familiar. And boy, did she come.
After a very long time, flying over the horizon was a ginormous swan. The biggest swan that could possibly fly.
She's beautiful.
I forgot about the chicken.
Oh, they call her a chicken as many chances as they get, because they're bitches.
And she honks and hisses. And
yes, she does. She doesn't like them.
Specifically, it's an animal companion, not familiar.
Well, that's
different rule sets.
Animal companion,
that's
not
true.
Familiar. But
so she chose a turkey.
See what I mean? Oh my god. See what I have to deal with?
What did you name her?
I named her Quest. Do I say why?
That's fine.
Okay. So I am on a quest,
and that's
a journey.
You're done. There you go.
That's why. I named her Quest because I'm on a quest.
Very simple.
So she's very sweet to you and loves you very much.
I love her.
There was something around her ankle, though.
Yeah, there was something around her ankle when she showed up, and Kieran knew what it was.
There's a little ID tag from the Elven settlement that's in the Thornwood.
Oh my goodness, I forgot about that.
And someone did something with it.
Someone just stole a royal swan, essentially.
I forgot about
so you took the tag and whipped it.
Nope, that can go away.
And someone, what did you do with it?
She's mine.
What did I do with it?
You put it in your bag of holding.
Oh,
How dare you do that? I did not know.
You don't know.
Yeah, no one saw me
doesn't
do
know.
it.
Only Phlebotomist knows.
What happened?
It's just floating around in the astral sea right now.
Yeah.
How dare you do that?
So you guys have your fifth member, which is Quest the Swan.
She's a swan, not a chicken, not a quail.
Hey, that's a cool goose you have there.
Not a goose!
I do enjoy pheasant.
I hate you all.
I haven't had squawk yet.
Swear to God.
So you guys... So you guys are going to head southwest to Cowabunga. It's not really a road, it's more of a trail, but Phlebotomist literally just came on it, so he knows where it is. And so he's going to lead you, and not just, yeah, I know, just not the five of you, but you, Urki, who you rescued. She has decided she wants to settle down in a gnome village for a while because too much adventuring for her, she is done. So you guys are escorting Urki and her pet Tressum that I can't remember what I named.
It was something really pretty.
It was really cute. It was like Pori or something.
No.
Steve-O.
No! It was. I'll remember it.
Steve-O.
Whatever.
Wow.
So you guys are.
And welcome to Jackass.
You guys are escorting Urki and her Tressum to Cowabunga, where she'll settle down, and you'll get to see Phlebotomist's hometown. Now, on your path, three things actually. And we're gonna pick up our first episode after the travels. So the first thing is, while you guys were going through the prairie lands, very flat, open prairie lands, you can see very, very far, on a very cloudy, windy day, I rolled a nat 1 on my weather chart. So what did you guys encounter?
A tornado!
The sky was starting to turn green, and I thought that was a bad sign, so I used Druidcraft to predict the weather, and it started making a funnel cloud in my hand. So I said, oh shit! We need to run! we booked it for the tree line.
You guys didn't make it to the tree line, but you found an old rooty stump on some boulders. You tied yourselves to it. You almost lost the hat. The important hat.
No.
Very important hat.
But you were able to. Didn't you shove the swan and the Tressum in a bag? You shoved them in a backpack.
Yeah.
And tied everyone else down. You're like cat, swan. You guys got buffeted by winds. But you made it through a tornado, and I've never made a tornado DMing before. So
I had to use Healing Spirit because we kept getting torn up by the fucking wind.
My brain almost came loose.
That's
TPK by wind.
That is important. It takes a long time.
That's just
to
angry
separate. It's fucking sky.
When you guys
Mother Nature, go away.
You traveled a couple more days into the woods. And you actually met a creature that flew across the path.
Oh, yes.
It was a very long, serpentine creature with big feathery wings. And she was about to disappear when you called out to her and got a nat 20 to convince her to come talk to you.
Oh.
So what was this creature?
A kowaddle.
Waddle, yes. And do you remember her name?
Ahsoka Tano.
Ahsoka.
Ahsoka. What is it?
Ahsoka Tano is not in this universe.
We're in Star Wars now.
Ahsoka spoke to you. She wasn't going to, but you convinced her. And she was just out on adventures with her friends. Well, not in so many dumb words, but...
migrating around, as kowattles do.
Yeah. And she stopped to speak to you. She said she came from over the mountains. And you guys asked her what she found. And what kind of things did she tell you? Do you remember?
She told me I had a crack in my soul.
Yep.
You know what? That's comma butt crack. No, I have a crack in my soul. I don't even know why.
She looked right at you and apologized for the pain you feel.
I was so confused.
And she looked at you, Phlebotomist. What did she say? I can remind you. She looked at the hat and said, I really like your hat.
Oh, right.
She goes, it's special.
Yeah.
It's special.
It is special.
It used to belong to your master. It's a very special hat.
It's very special.
It's
very
humongous.
I do think I told the party members my reason for questing. Should I say it now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so, my artificer mentor, what was his name?
Dallin Durgeddon.
My mentor, Dallin Durgeddon, was a dwarf who had this big, massive freaking hat. And once he was sort of a wandering artificer. So when he was like, okay, I've taught this annoying little gnome everything that he needs. I can go on now and go do my wandering dwarf things. He left his special hat as a gift to remember me by. And so...
Or for you to remember him by?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
And so when I saw the hat and he had left, I was like, oh shit, he forgot his hat. So now I'm on a quest to find him and give him his hat back.
So all the party members do know this. You've said, I'm giving my master his hat back. Mm-hmm. So you all know that's what he's doing.
Yeah.
So, Kieran, you asked something of Ahsoka.
Can I have some of your feathers?
And she looked at you and you got a high persuasion. So she fluffed and you have kowaddle down. You have kowaddle feathers now. Feathers.
Flowers?
Wow, I didn't know they could produce flowers.
You guys are heading into the Thornwood Forest, and you're next to the Cloven Mountains. And Phlebotomist has told you some of the things to expect around here. That just the gnomes out here know that this stuff is out here. He knows that there's a lot of cat beasts out in the Cloven Mountains. Displacer beasts are a common one.
Yeah.
So you guys have been keeping your eye out for monsters. What you didn't expect, though, is you encountered moss lurkers, which are little mushroomy trolly gnomes.
Yeah.
And you
They're
fought
like
some of
gnome
those.
otakus.
Yeah.
Oh, they have a lot of health.
So, yes, so you fought some of those, and that was the only enemy you really encountered before reaching the outskirts of Cowabunga. So that's where our first episode is going to pick up. Is there anything I've forgotten to recap? Anything you guys went through?
Something about Drow appearing in Cowabunga a long time ago?
Yes. Phlebotomist, you were just talking to your buddies.
Yeah.
And I don't remember how Drow came up, but you Was it Ixodor asked if there are any drow around?
Probably.
Well, no, the subject of maybe dark elves in general came up, and I said, we don't want to really run into any of those quite yet.
And
The
then
guy brought it up.
and
I
then
believe so.
yeah, and then Phlebotomus said, well, I've heard of a really nice one. There's a gnome lady in Cowabunga who talks about a really nice drow she knew. And then you went in to say, she also says a lot of inappropriate things about how handsome he was. And sexy.
Well, I think
and
we should go meet him then.
She's pretty into this guy. It's kind of weird because she's like 8 billion years old. We don't say anything about it because we're too polite and nice and friendly and clever and fun as gnomes are. But you know.
As
sorry,
those are,
what?
I'm just amazing. I'm cool. Okay.
Do you have anything else to say about yourself?
Well, since you asked,
Oh, geez, here we go.
It's not
Due to-
inflate your head any larger than it already is.
Any
It might
larger than the
actually fit in the hat.
So you guys are going to Cowabunga, the gnome village. There's rumors of a drow that was around here once. There's possible orcs and some type of dwarf to the north. There's possible cat beasts and displacer beasts. Ahsoka also warned you that she saw like a hermity, magic-y fellow out in the mountains wandering around, but she avoided him. And you guys have your own things to investigate. The mysterious cakes,
Oh, yeah.
where the hat is, stuff that we haven't said yet. So that's where I have to cut myself off before I spoil
That's
anything.
me.
That's us explaining everything we've done off camera. It was a really good idea just to play off camera for a while and experience it. Because it's nice to just chill out and munch and talk during D&D.
And
which
there was
is
a
why
lot of talking.
we hope all of you have fun playing D&D at home, whether it's on or off camera. It's fun if you would like to play. It's for anybody. All right, anything else? No. Thank you for joining us for our prologue of Lost and Finders. We're really excited to get into a new campaign, so feel free to leave comments on things you liked. And like the videos that are enjoyable to you. We're really excited to get into this. So we will see you next time downstairs in our basement for D&D.